It's a grand old building that we want to restore back to its to a state that can be used and enjoyed by everybody.
It's an icon building on the harbour, and it can be used for generations to come for all sorts of things.
It's always been about passion. Starting with a passionate dream more than a century ago, a clubhouse for the then just 3-year-old Takapuna Boating Club. A club launched by a small group of sailing and boating enthusiasts with a picnic here on the Shoal Bay water's edge in December of 1920. But the Takapuna Boating Club grew fast. Soon the social and boating events were too much for its members to host only in their homes. Something had to be done. They needed their own building. Looking through the newspapers in the autumn of 1923, they found an opportunity in the distant village of Panmure. A leather tannery damaged by arson was for sale. In all, there were 14 structures to get rid of, but building number 3 stood out. 3 stories tall, containing almost 30,000 feet of kauri and totara timber, tons of iron spouting, rigging, and 26 windows. This was just what they needed. They didn't want the building. They wanted the building materials. It was only £310, mind you, that's $39,000 in today's money. It took a lot of passionate pleading, but they convinced others to lend them the £310. They got to work. Members camped out and toiled, dismantling the building plank, by pole, by roofing iron, by nail, by spout, by pipe, by beam, all by hand.
And then they dismantled the building and barged it up the harbour, and then with volunteers, and obviously there might have been a couple of paid guys there, but mostly volunteer labour from the club, they erected it on that site.
Back in the 1920s, it was a 3-day trip for a barge from Panmure. Gradually, it moved along this route to the location where the clubhouse still stands today. Like the 1920 picnic that first launched the club on this bay, the clubhouse was unveiled in December. This time, December 1923. It quickly became a popular destination for people from the city side to visit by ferry. Over the next 80 plus years, it was the site of dances, concerts, boxing, bowling, roller skating, a library, school get-togethers, a cinema, and of course, boating club events and meetings.
In its former glory, it was really a hub of the community, and people used to travel there via ferry to go to dances and have community events there.
They had dances there, a lot of people met there, and marriages resulted from that.
The clubhouse was even the star of a 1990s TVNZ drama, Deepwater Haven.
Hi, Marianne.
In a hint to a possible future, it contains a cafe and a small store.
Dad said, could you put it on the bill?
But over the decades, the building fell into disrepair.
Yeah, it's very sad to see how dilapidated it is now.
Broken decking, broken windows, worn out steps, a rickety boat ramp, a home for pigeons, and graffiti taggers.
The Bayswater Boating Club's not allowed to be used for commercial gain due to an act that was passed 100 years ago. Isabel Prasad explains.
Once a hub of the community, Auckland's Bayswater Boating Club now stands battered.
That's right. A 1923 law prevented the club from paying for itself. It was only in 2025 that local MP Simon Watts, along with the council, came to the rescue.
For far too long, this once proud building has stood in a state of disrepair, a silent testament to the outdated legislation, the 1923 Act.
So this is where we are now. The pride of yesterday is inspiring the promise of tomorrow.
Perhaps it will be a bustling cafe, a vibrant function centre, or even, Cameron Brewer, a very popular ice cream parlour. The possibilities are now, Madam Speaker, and for the first time in many years, those options are truly open.
The building and its water area will continue to promote boating, just as it's always done more than a century after being constructed. Under the clubhouse is an area already being used to store tenants' boats. To further support our local boating community, that space could be offered to our members or to other community groups, such as the nearby Takapuna Grammar School's rowing club. Strive mightily, but eat and drink as friends. That's the motto inside the main ballroom floor. This could be the location for one or more cafes, eateries and shops that the local area sorely needs. The grand hall with its old murals could even host performances and dances once again. The building could be a party base for watching Sky City fireworks from the Bayswater Wharf or viewing international boating events like the America's Cup or Sail GP. It'll be the site of community group meetings. It can be the base for some local businesses.
It's a big building, so it's going to take quite a bit just to maintain it on an ongoing year-by-year basis. And so that's where that mixture of commercial use that enables then the maintenance of the building for the community purposes is really ideal, and that's a really effective part of the story of the future of this club.
Passion has played a pivotal role in the clubhouse since those pioneer volunteers built it by hand in the 1920s. Passion has been the driver that saw the boating club grow throughout all of those decades. Passion and will is what will see this iconic structure survive and thrive into the future.
As Commodore, I feel quite sad that we have a building that is in such a bad state of repair. So it doesn't really reflect well on the club at the moment, and we would like to bring it back to its former glory.
All the planking, the planking on the outside of the building is all kauri. It's all solid kauri and it's in beautiful condition. It looks terrible, but it's actually in beautiful condition. So when they get all the lead paint off it and do it all up again, it's going to look stunning. So it was a focal point in Auckland, and it will be again.